Hello guys, welcome back to Mamta Nirval tutorial. And guys, in this video we're going to start a new chapter number 11, and the name of the chapter is transportation in animals as well as in plants. Okay, so animals and plant, what are we need to transport? In case of plants, we require water, minerals which is absorbed by the roots. We need to transport those things to the other part of a plant. And similarly, from the leaves which perform the photosynthesis process, that food we require to transport to each part of our plants. So these transportation we require in the plant body, and if we compare it with the animal body, we require to transport the digested food, which is the nutrient which we are getting from the food, the water and the oxygen. And we can say that all these things are the necessary thing for our survival. So if you want to survive, you require all those things every time. So our cell, each and every cell require amount of food to perform their function. So this is not the just food, we require ATP to perform those functions. So the ATP we are getting from the food itself. Okay, and for the oxygen is also very much necessary for each and every cells to be delivered. So that's why we can say that there should be a system which is known as the circulatory system in our body, and these circulatory system help us to continue all those process, so that we can achieve all the requirement of every cells. How we can do it? The major component of circulatory system is the blood. What is a blood? It is a fluid which flows through the blood vessels. Okay, blood vessels are the small tube like structures which form a network throughout our body. So it contains some kind of fluid, and that fluid is called as blood. Okay, so whatever the food which we have digested in our digestive system, all those digested food can be absorbed by the small intestine. Okay, this we have already discussed in the digestive system topic. So the small intestine has the job to absorb all those nutrient minerals which we have getted or which we have digested from that food we have consumed. Okay, from there we take all those things into the blood, and that blood will supply to each and every cell of our body. So similarly, oxygen is also carried out by the help of blood from the lungs. Okay, from the lungs the oxygen is get into the blood, and that blood will transport that oxygen to each and every cell of our body. And similarly, the cell will give us the waste also. When they perform their metabolic functions or any functions which they require to perform, that will create some kind of waste also. So these waste are very toxic, they are need to be removed from our body. So the removal of waste is also the same process, which is circulatory system. All the waste the cell will give to the blood, and that blood will get filtered out through a process which we are discussing in the later in this chapter. And by that process, what we can get or we can remove all those waste out of our body. Okay, so the major component is the blood. So what is blood consist of? Our blood consists of plasma, which is a liquid form plasma, and RBCs. Okay, what are RBCs? RBCs are known as the red blood cells. Okay, they contain some red color pigment, and because of that red color pigment we can say that it is red blood cells. Okay, and that red color pigment is known as hemoglobin. Okay, this is the pigment due to which this RBCs have the red RBC get that red color. Okay, what the function of hemoglobin? They will bind the oxygen to it and transport to the all part of our body. Okay, so in the blood the hemoglobin is the portion, the hemoglobin will combine oxygen with itself, and with the with that help or with that process we can transport the oxygen to the other parts of our body. Okay, similarly we also have white blood cells also present in our blood. So what the function of white blood cells? This is WBC, which is known as white blood cells. Okay, the main function of white blood cells is to give immunity, or we can say that to fight against germs or any pathogen which can infect our body. To fight against germs we require WBC or white blood cells, so that it will create an immunity in our body. Okay, one more important thing, like similarly you must have seen, like sometime if you get injured, like this is your hand and here you get a cut in your hand, so after some time you see that the flow of blood is stopped because of clotting. So this is the clot of blood. Because of that the loss of blood can be reduced. From where this clot will form? This clot will form because of the platelets, which are also a part of blood. So in as a conclusion we can say that the blood is consist of plasma, okay, red blood cells, WBCs and platelets. These are the major components of our blood. Okay, from in which thing the blood will flow? The blood will flow through the blood vessels. Okay, there are two type of blood vessels. One is the arteries. What is the arteries? Arteries are the blood vessels which carries oxygenated blood. Okay, that means oxygen rich blood is flowed in the arteries. Okay, and from where it will take the oxygen rich blood from the heart to the all part of our body. Okay, so the process, or we can say that to take the transport process is quite similar. Like from the heart, it always take the blood from the heart and it will give in this direction only to the other body part. Okay, second point for the arteries will be that the blood flow is quite rapid. Blood flow is rapid in the arteries because the heart pump the blood, and that pumped blood will go into the all part of our body. So to reach each and every cell's heart require a lot of pressure to give into the blood. So because of that the blood flow is very rapid, and due to which the high blood pressure will present in the blood vessels, which is known as arteries. Okay, as well as because of this high blood pressure, to maintain it, to maintain the walls, so that the walls are quite thick and elastic in nature. Okay, they are thick and elastic, they can be easily stretched a little bit, and they are thick walled. Okay, what are pulse? What are the pulse? Like they are some kind of throbbing movement you must have seen when you touch your wrist. Okay, that movement which you see, the throbbing movement, is known as the pulse. Like this is your hand, this is your hand, and if you with your second hand you will try to put it here and try to touch it, this portion, you will feel a throbbing movement, like up and down movement. What is that movement? It is the blood flow. It is the blood flow which flows through the arteries, and due to that blood flow we can see that there is a pulse in our body. Okay, and what are the pulse rate? Like how many times that throbbing movement happening in our arm or in our body per minute. Okay, so the pulse per minute are the, or we can say that the beats per minute are known as the pulse rate. So usually the pulse rate is 72 to 80 beats per minute. It is quite normal if you have 70 to 80 beats per minute. Okay, so this is normal, but if you are getting more than 80, that is harmful, and if you are getting less than 72, that can also be harmful. So pulse rate should be between 72 to 80. Okay, The second type of blood vessels are known as the veins. What are the veins? The blood vessels which carry deoxygenated blood, or we can say that the carbon dioxide rich blood. Okay, the blood which contain more amount of carbon dioxide into it, that is known as the deoxygenated blood, or we can say that the blood which is carried by the veins. Okay, from where the movement of the blood is the from the body parts, from the body to the heart. Okay, so this is what the movement of the veins, it always carry all the bloods from the heart, from the body to the heart. Okay, this is the movement, and the walls are quite thick because they do not the walls are quite thin because they do not have very high pressure in veins. Okay, so if we make a diagram of our circulatory system, this is our heart. Okay, this is just a rough diagram, and this is our lungs, this is our lungs. Okay, so how the transportation take place? This is what first the transportation is from lungs to our heart, and there is another transportation which take place from the heart to lungs, and the second circulatory system is from here to the body part. Okay, we can say that body part, from which, because of the capillaries, that capillaries will help us to take all the oxygen or exchange of gases, that means oxygen and carbon dioxide, and then all the carbonated blood will go to the heart again. Okay, so this is the heart portion, and this is the lungs portion, and this is the body. So this is how the transportation normally take place in our circulatory system. This is the vein, we can say that this is the arteries, which is pulmonary arteries. Okay, so this is an exception, the arteries which contain, this is the artery which contain carbon dioxide rich blood, and they take that carbon rich blood to the lungs. Okay, so this is the exception in which the arteries carrying carbon dioxide rich blood. Normally arteries only carry the oxygenated blood, or we can say that the blood which contain more of oxygen, and this is the vein which is known as the pulmonary vein, which carry the blood which is oxygen rich blood. Okay, this is the oxygen rich blood which they carry from the lungs to the heart. So this is also an exception in case of veins. Mostly the arteries, these are the arteries, the artery which carry the oxygen rich blood from heart to the various part of our body, and these are the capillaries. Okay, these are the capillaries, because directly blood vessels we cannot reach to each and every cells, but capillaries have this capability. Now from the body to the heart, the veins will help us to transport. Okay, so the veins will take all the deoxygenated blood, or we can say that carbon dioxide rich blood, from all the part of our body to the heart. So this is the rough diagram of how the circulatory system works. Okay, now what are the capillaries? Capillaries are the blood vessels. Okay, these are the parts, or we can say that blood vessels which divides further. Okay, they divided themselves further into a extremely thin, okay, they are very thin or very fine in shape, or we can say that very thin tube like structures, and these tube like structures will help us to exchange the gases from each and every cell. So from this cells, they will consume the oxygen from the blood, and they will give the carbon dioxide. So the carbon dioxide is given to the blood, and oxygen is taken from the blood to the cell. So this is how the normally function take place. Now after that, when the function of capillary is being done, after that all these capillary will combine together, and they will form what? Blood vessels again, and that blood vessels is known as the vein, which carry the deoxygenated blood from the other body parts to the heart. Okay, so this is the major function. Now what is our heart? Okay, what is a heart? Let's try to make an diagram of heart that will make you more clear how to make it and how the working of heart. Okay, so these are the vena cava portion, and these are the aorta, these are the aorta. Okay, and these are the pulmonary arteries, these are pulmonary arteries, and here is the ventricle or atrium, we can say that, and these are the ventricle portion, and these are the posterior portions of these veins, as well as these are the atrium, and these are the ventricle, these are the atrium, and this is also a ventricle. Okay, so this is the, if we can say that this is the rough diagram of our heart. Okay, so what are they? We need to label them also. Like this is the portion which is known as the vena cava. Okay, so this is the portion is known as the aorta. This is the portion we call it as pulmonary arteries, which carry the deoxygenated blood. Okay, these are the exception in the arteries, and these are the pulmonary veins. And what the pulmonary vein do? It carry the oxygenated blood, which is also an exception in case of veins. Okay, and this is the left atrium. Okay, this is the left atrium, this is the left ventricle. Always the lower portion is known as the ventricle and the upper portion is known as the atrium. Here it is the right atrium. Okay, and lower portion is known as the right ventricle. Okay, so and the between things, okay, both of these right atrium and the left atrium, as well as right ventricle to left ventricle, these all has been divided by a middle things. Okay, what is this known as? This is the partition. Okay, this is the partition which help us to completely separate both half of the heart, like this heart, so that there will be no mixing of carbon dioxide and oxygen blood, so there will be no mixing of all those things. What are the functions of heart? Now the functions of heart, like first function is it always keep on beating. Okay, the beating will never stop, so we can say that the continuous beating is a main function of our heart. Okay, so that it can pump all the bloods to the every part of our body. Now where it is situated? It is situated or located in the chest cavity. Okay, it is not in our middle chest cavity, it is slightly tilted toward the left side, of our chest cavity. Okay, and what is the size? The size of our heart is our fist size. If you make a fist, and that fist size is known as, or we can say that it is very much comparable to the heart, the person's heart. Okay, so the size of the heart is our fist size. The upper chamber. Okay, what are the chambers in which the blood carries, or we can say that the blood is stored, is known as the chamber, and that upper chamber is known as the atria. If we are talking both of them, we will say it atria, but if we are talking it singular one, so singular we are known as it as a atrium. So there is two atrium, one left and one right atrium. Okay, similarly what are the lower chamber. Okay, there is a lower chamber from where the upper chamber will keep on giving the blood from the upper chamber to the lower chamber. So the lower chamber is known as the ventricle. Okay, so we have two ventricle in our heart, one is the right ventricle and another is the left ventricle. Okay, so and there is a partition also. What is the function of partition? Between that they will give a partition between both the chamber to avoid the mixing up to avoid the mixing up of the blood, so that the oxygen rich blood will not get mixed up with carbon dioxide rich blood, so that both of these blood will be separated. That's why we require a partition into it. Okay, what are the heartbeat? The muscles of our heart, they will create a rhythmic movement which is known as the heart beat. Okay, so the how they perform the movement, first they contract and then they relax. So they again contract and then again relax, again contract and again relax, so that this process will go on for a very long time. So we can say that we cannot stop it. Always our heart is always beating, it cannot stop. If they get stopped, if our heart do not stop pumping the blood, our body will not react, or we can say that there will be death of the person. Okay, so there has to be a rhythmic a movement in our heart muscles, which is the contraction and relaxation every time. Okay, this is the circle. First it contract, then it relax, again it contract, then it relax. So this rhythmic movement is known as the heartbeat, and which we can hear it with the help of stethoscope. Stethoscope, what is it? It is a device, okay, which amplify the sound of our heart. Okay, it amplify the sound of our heart, and we can easily hear all the heartbeats. What is the structure of a stethoscope? So there is one is the chest piece, and other, this is the portion which is, we call it as earpiece. So this is the earpiece, this is the chest piece, which doctor keep to put this chest piece on the chest of the patient, and earpiece is, they put it in the ear of the doctor. Okay, and this is the tube which combine the earpiece with the chest piece. The main function is of the chest piece. It contain a diaphragm into it, and which is very much sensitive. Because of that sensitivity, it enhance all the beats which it receive with from our heart, and that amplified sound will go into the earpiece, and we can hear all those sounds. Why we require? So that the doctor can get a clue what is the condition of the person. Okay, to analyze the condition of a person or a patient, a doctor requires some kind of a clues, that if there is some kind of some problem in the heart, that they can detect earlier in the earlier stage. So they require the stethoscope very often. They use stethoscope very often to analyze the condition of the patient. These are all about the animals, or we can say that the animals who have circulatory system. But there are some animals which do not have circulatory system, such as hydra and sponge. They do not have any kind of circulatory system. So how they can transport the things? They transport the thing directly from the water. So directly from the water, they receive all the food as well as oxygen from that water itself, and they used to remove the waste material also from their body with the same water. Okay, so they live in the water. So this is the shape of an hydra. This is hydra, and it live in the water. So directly from the water, they will receive all the food and oxygen whatever they require, and after the removing the water from their body, they remove the waste material also with it. So this is the only process how they remove the waste and how they absorb the food and oxygen, in case of hydra and sponge, which do not have any circulatory system into it. Now the major function is from where we are getting these unwanted material which is waste for our body, from where we are getting it. Like in our each and every cells, they have a particular function to perform. To perform those functions, they will make a byproduct, and that byproduct is some kind sometimes is a waste, okay, and which is quite toxic for our body to being if we consume, we can say that if we accumulate all those waste in our body, that will be more toxic for us. So to we require it, remove it from our body time to time, okay, that need to be removed. For that removal we require a process which is known as the excretion process, and that excretion process is carried out through the organs, and the system is known as the excretory system. Okay, so this is the system which required to remove all the waste from our body. What are the excretory system in our human body? Like the excretory system, if we're talking about the human, okay, so the waste product, whatever the waste thing which is present in our blood, that waste product as well as blood go to the kidney, and that kidney will filter out all those waste from the blood. That filter out product, maybe it contain the useful substance as well as the substance which is waste, okay, non-useful or waste substance, both of them they filter it out. And after that, when after the filtration, if the substance is useful, they can be absorbed back with the help of the blood, and the waste will be removed out from our body. So this is the main function how our excretory function or excretory system work in human body. Now let's try to make a diagram of a system, okay, excretory system. These are the veins, okay, and this is the arteries, now this is the kidney, one kidney, and this is the second kidney, and from the kidney there is a ureter, the passage which will combine the kidney with the urinary bladder, and this is the urinary bladder, and this is the portion is the urethra and the opening, okay. So this is the rough diagram of an system, an excretory system. So this is the kidney, this is the ureter, urinary bladder, in which all the urine is get collected, and this is the urethra. The last portion is known as the urethra, and the end is the urinary opening, okay. So this is the portion from where we can excrete out all the urine from our body, which is known as the urinary opening. So this is the quite a rough diagram of what is the excretory system of human being. So we can say that the waste which is dissolved in our water is removed from our blood in the form of urine, okay. So the waste is the urine which is coming out from our, or we can say that filtered from our blood, which with the help of the kidney, okay. The filtration process is done by the kidney. So all the blood will get into the kidney, and from the kidney it will filter out all those urines or unwanted particles, or we can say that the non-useful or waste product from that blood, and it will go from the ureter to the urinary bladder, okay. And here in the urinary bladder it will collect all those urine, they will store that urine, and after a time when the bladder is complete, it will full, then we will get a feeling to use the washroom. So we will go to the washroom and release all those urine from our body through the urethra, or we can say that the urinary opening, which is the urinary opening, the end part of our excretory system. If we talk like normally in adult, what is the quantity of urine we can produce? In normally adult has the ability to produce 1 to 1.8 liter of urine in 24 hours. So it is quite normal. And normally what is a urine consist of? A urine is consist of 75% of water and 2.5% of urea, which is very toxic for our body, and 2.5% of other waste. Okay, there are some other waste also which is produced by our body, and that waste also required to remove. So all those waste will be 2.5% if we are talking about complete urine. So most of the part is the water. Okay, you have seen like in the hot summer days, in hot summer days, you sweat a lot. Okay, what is that sweating? It contain water and salt, and salt is the waste product of for our body. We require the salt to remove from our body. So with the help of sweating also we can remove some of the waste product, as like salt can be removed with the help of sweating. Okay, and sometime you must have seen like in the summer days you will feel a patch in our arms area, like underarms area. You will feel some kind of a yellowish or whitish patch in here. What is that? This is the patch because our sweat contain lot of amount of salt into it, and because of that salt the patch will form in the summer days. And as well as it will provide us a cool feeling, or to keep our body cool we require sweating. Okay, so sweating can help us to remove the waste like salt from our body, as well as provide us a cooling effect. If we talk about the aquatic animals, so the aquatic animals such as fishes, okay, what are they? They excrete the waste in the form of ammonia, and that ammonia is directly dissolved in the water. If we talk about the birds, lizards or snakes, in which form they used to excrete? Snakes, okay, they used to secrete in the form of semi solid waste. Okay, this is not a very liquidy, not even a very solid, it is a semi solid waste, which is colored compound, which is known as the uric acid. Okay, so they secrete in the form of uric acid. If we talk about humans secrete in the form of urea. Okay, and sometime if our body do not have ability, or we can say that our kidney do not perform proper function, so what we require to do dialysis. So dialysis is a process through which we can artificially remove all the waste from our blood. Okay, artificially we can remove, so that machine is work as an artificial kidney for us, so that we can time to time we can remove all those waste which is accumulated in our blood, which is toxic for our body. So to remove all those things, if our kidney is not working, we require a dialysis process. Okay, now we'll talk about the transportation of substance. Okay, substance in case of plants. Okay, what are the substance we require to transport? One is the water and minerals. So from where we plants get the water and minerals? They absorb water and minerals from the root hairs. And what are the root hairs? They are part of a root. So this is the root, so these are the root hairs, the fine root hairs. These root hairs have a very they increase the surface area, and because of that increased surface area, it have more ability to absorb more amount of water and minerals or nutrient from the soil. Okay, so this is what we require to transport for these water and minerals to the other part of our body. So to transportation, we do not call it as circulatory system. For that transportation we require vascular tissue in case of plants. Okay, so vascular tissues are the tissue to transport water and nutrient in the plant body. One of these is the xylem. What is the xylem? Xylem is the vascular tissue which connect the root and to the each and every part of our plant body, okay, to entire body. It will take all the water and minerals which is taken by from our roots, uh, which is absorbed from our roots, and that water and minerals is transported to each and, or we can say that, entire plant body. Similarly, second is the phloem. What is the phloem? It is also a vascular bundle, or we can say the vascular tissue, which help us to transport food, the food which is created by the leaves, and that leaves with the help of photosynthesis, and that food need to be transported from the upper direction as well as the lower direction. That means from to the root and to the tip of the plant. We require in both direction. So phloem can flow in both direction, but xylem will flow from the from lower to the upper direction only. Okay, so there is an experiment in NCERT. There is a one glass we can take, and this is a plant. We put a plant into it, and in that glass we put some water and a red color ink into it. Okay, and after some time, if you observe or if you cut it down, that this is the plant, okay, and if you cut from here, what you see, you will see some red spot into it, because there is water, and the water is absorbed with the help of xylem, and the xylem will show us in the if we watch it under the microscope. So this is what it giving us a proof that water and minerals has been transported from the in the stem also. Okay, so the transportation process is known as the vascular tissue in case of plants. The last concept of this chapter is the transpiration. What is transpiration? Whatever the water and minerals which is absorbed by the plant, it cannot be able to utilize all those amount of water. So that water required to be evaporate from the surface of leaves. Okay, so on the surface of leaves there are stomata which is present on the surface of leaves, and those stomata, if they open during the process of photosynthesis, they get open, and because of that opening, it help the water to evaporate in the surrounding, and that process is known as the transpiration process. Okay, so the evaporation of water from the leaves to generate a suction pull. Okay, that suction pull will help the water or help the roots to pull the water from the lower to the higher. So if a plant have a very good height, still because of the suction pull which is created because of the transpiration, or we can say that evaporation of water, so that suction pull will help us to get the water to the tip, from the root of the tree to the tip of that tree. Okay, so if they has a very high height, still we can easily get all the water from the tip of the plant because of this suction pull. And secondly, the transpiration also keep the plant cool. Okay, because every time whenever evaporation of water take place, it will give us a feeling of coolingness. So this is all in this chapter, guys. I hope you have understand all those concepts. If you still have any concept which is remaining, you do not understand those things, let me know. And thank you guys for watching this video.